We're starting with the Vanguard newspaper. And on the Vanguard this morning, we have ADC Coalition, Alliance of Displaced Politicians, Presidency. With the riders, "We are undisturbed," APC reacts. Its gathering of failed politicians, Wike. "Only a formidable coalition can salvage Nigeria," Obi. LP split over 48-hour ultimatum to Obi. PDP politicians leaving party carcass to Wike, cronies, says Dele Momodu. That is on page 5. Wike declares end of Rivers crisis. Zenith Bank leads in Tier 1 capital for 16th year. All right, and that is it for the Vanguard newspaper. And to the new Daily Prime. Okay, on the new Daily Prime, we have some headlines here. Tinubu declares data new oil as Nigeria launches Digital Skills Academy. Tinubu's projects speak for themselves. Critics are politically finished, amongst other headlines on the new Daily Prime. All right, and now to the Daily Trust newspaper. On the Daily Trust, we have INEC receives 12 additional applications for party registration. Ex-Super Eagles goalkeeper Peter Rufai dies at 61. Coalition members move to exit old parties. Still on the Daily Trust, Remi Tinubu returns to Plateau, donates 1 billion naira to victims of attacks. With $2 billion Tier 1 capital, Zenith Bank rated number 1 in Nigeria. 2,000 hectares, my children have rights to own land, Wike. And finally, Senator's aide resigns over 20,000 naira salary. And now to the Daily Independent newspaper. We've made oil smuggling unattractive, says Tinubu. All right, ADC coalition will set Nigeria back by decades. Presidency, with the riders, says members looking for political relevance. Slams Buhari's appointees for joining coalition. Lists why ADC coalition can't mirror APC. APC describes promoters as merchants of vendetta. You can find all of this on page 29 of the Daily Independent. All right, and Senate considers proposals on electoral reform, state police, LGA creation. Holds public hearing on constitution review in Lagos. Coalition, LP slams Abure, says it gave Obi blessings to participate. 2027, why Wike is already afraid of us by ADC. Anyanwu's reinstatement, Damagun to be remembered for presiding over PDP final funeral. And finally, Sanwo-Olu mourns ex-Super Eagles goalkeeper Peter Rufai. And now we're moving over to the Punch newspaper. We have ECOWAS Bank approves $100 million for Lagos-Calabar Highway. Capital projects got only 20% of 25 trillion naira 2024 spending. 2027 showdown, coalition slams Tinubu as Wike ADC trade blows. Presidency brands ADC leaders serial election losers. FCT minister attacks Mark, others coalition kicks. And that is it on the Punch newspaper. And now to the Guardian newspaper. Atiku flays Tinubu over Trump's snub of Nigeria. Illusion of harmony when politicians unite in power pursuits sans governance. That is on the big story pages 4 and 5. APC convenes South-South Summit in Edo. 2027, I love Nigeria. Other groups seek INEC registration as parties. Wike knocks opposition coalition as desperate power ploy defends Rivers peace moves. NMA faults FG's export of doctors, skilled workers to St. Lucia. And now to the Nigerian Tribune. The Patriots Constitutional Summit. 700 delegates to brainstorm on way forward for Nigeria. With the riders conveners to present reports to Tinubu, NAS, each ethnic nationality movement to have 20 representatives, governors to send 24 delegates each. You can find that on page 2. Coalition Nenadi Usman Abure camps resume tackles after Obi's romance with ADC. All right, and now to the Daily Sun newspaper. Okay, on the Daily Sun, we have IMF advises Nigeria to revise 2025 budget. Still on the coalition, Atiku faces fresh crisis at ADC with riders. Faction rejects ex-VP Mark Arebeshola, others. You can find all of this on page 6. All right, and that is it for our newspaper headlines this morning. And now over to our review. Chris Maduka is in the studio. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Nuche. And good morning to all the people of the world who are watching.
How are you today?
Well, I'm looking far much better. We thank God for His mercy.
Yes.
And you're not looking that bad.
Thank you.
In African Adire, or is it what they call it?
Ankara.
Okay, that's wonderful. So let's hit the road running.
Yes.
So many things that are up there. One of the most common denominators is coalition, ADC, everywhere. You know what interests me? Before now, the ruling party, APC, were taking for granted all the haulings they are making into their party, and they were celebrating. Suddenly, the APC has gone back to become sulking baby, crying for woe for nothing. What makes them believe that, well, if in Nigeria and in the world, if one road closes, another one should open. And for politicians, if you are rejected here, you go to where you form a platform to be relevant. So what is wrong about... So presidency that started this fight are now coming to defend. Why should Nigeria at the midterm talk about 2027? And that's all everybody talks about. So the Ngwere, telephone, whoever telephone Gweleji Lachakweze is the sitting party. When all the people are rushing into their party, they will home and dry, happy. And then the chairman that was there, the party didn't call him to order. Where is he? Where is Ganduje? And now some people sat down quietly, and then it's like they didn't want to keep, because if they keep quiet, it's too early to start. Whatever is happening now. But Nigeria has dissolved into 2027. With 702 days still to go. Everything about Nigeria is called 2027. Do Nigerians want to rush? They wouldn't want to hasten the bus of Nigeria to run into 2027 because some politicians just think it's going to be El Dorado. Now they now start saying that in everywhere there is always, no matter what, everybody in Nigeria cannot just be the bandwagon politician. There are people who felt that they should do something. I'll tell you something. There's a story about the tortoise. He said that whenever I know I don't have strength, that tortoise is when I start, if there's a quarrel with me and my wife will beat me into pulp. But there isn't thing when I do when the wife start beating me. I only scratch the ground and they show some signs of resistance. So when people come, they will say, the tortoise is trying to do something. So that is why Nigeria democratic system is trying to do. Whoever thinks that you just rub oil on Nigerian democracy and swallow it, made a mistakes along the line as the thorns that are started springing out of it, and they should take it in good faith. It looks childish for Nigeria president to begin to make some statements. Honestly, I feel ashamed. They should go back, and all these throwing tantrums cannot save the situation. Coalition has been formed. Whether they succeed or not, you leave them. After all, the sitting government came to power under coalition. They have to book coalition and put the carpet under good luck straight at so the man who uses machete to cut heads, we always not want machete to be used. So I don't. It's a user thing. Coalition XADC national chair. This one. Some people say he scanned. How can somebody provide his platform to? Are the people who are involved? No matter what you think, you want to write them off. Is Atiku somebody who scan? Is he Obi? Is he Rufai? Is he Mark? So I don't know, but there are certain things they will do. They will turn the whole Nigerian politics into a childish thing where anybody say anything. Let them watch the situation. Since they want us to, in hunger and hardship, watch politicians in Abuja move from one party to another, do coalition, and they think even the spirit of hungry Nigerians will hunt them. Because it's too early for whatever they are doing now, and Nigeria has dissolved into 2027. It's unfair. It's not, but he who fetches the firewood that's laden with ants, invites the lizard to, so whatever. And any man who plays with chicken, we always have a banner, that's the drops of chicken rubbed over his body. That is what they have brought. We were thinking that 3 years would have benefited from the sitting government for 3 years to look at whether they would do anything to help us. But it's just 702 years into everything. They celebrated Democracy Day, and then boom, 2027, everything. Look at the headlines of our newspaper. And it's not fair to Nigerians because we have totally lost whatever dividend we get from. Everything is geared. Nobody is thinking about security. Nobody is thinking about how to reduce tariffs and hikes. Nobody is thinking how to benefit the welfare of Nigerians. All the politicians in Nigeria are thinking about 2027. It is quite unfair. I wish Nigerians will look at them and say, you come, we are waiting for them. I wish, because for me, that's how I feel. And they are now throwing tantrums. Everybody who are paid to work for Nigeria, all the people working in presidency are replying to coalition replying to them, and they will talk this. This is what they will talk, and we'll go home hungry. They will talk like this and come back. We are waiting for them.
All right, and we have Wike declares the end to Rivers crisis.
Wike is declaring end to Rivers crisis, but has managed to send PDP to early grave. So you rob Peter, you pay Paul, and then you cut the head of a horse, put it on that of cow, and we go. That's Nigeria, the horse trading. So since he is the strong man, out of about 5 million people in Rivers State, Wike is the only person who will stand and say, peace in Rivers State, and there will be peace. And when he says fire, so we give him all the liberty. But remember, transient of power. Power is transient. So, this is his time. Let him use it very well. We only hope that he will remember the song I sang for Pope. When Pope died, I sat here to say, fading away like the stars of the morning. That's how human beings will lose their luster. When the early morning song comes, and they will only be remembered by the works they've done. That song I will never forget. It remains in my memory. Every Nigerian politician should know, you can only be remembered by your works. If when the power is out and everybody say, ha, they mention your name and say, hey, that one, that was always that one, then you know your soul will never rest everywhere. But some of them, I don't think whether they still have souls. Some Nigerian politicians, I'll tell you, I don't believe they still have souls. Wherever they sold their soul, in expense, they just use 240 million Nigerians in purchase of whatever they are doing. Because some of them, when they make statement and act, you will start asking yourself, do they have blood running in their veins? Are these people human beings? They don't have any consideration, only self. And at the end of it, they come to the field to start deceiving us and start talking trash. So, if peace, according to the Honorable Minister of Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, Honorable Nyesom Wike, the great man, if he declares peace in Rivers State and we have peace, let it last. But if the peace is declaring is only according to him, we have to know whether other people are agreeing with him. Because it takes two to bring peace in the house. If you are married, the wife, and the only husband is a peace, peace, peace. Then when the wife is a firecracker, there will still be a crisis. So, what is good for the geese is good for the gander. If the two sides say, the two warring factions of River State say peace. But I salute the people of River State who suddenly find out that following these politicians can lead them into everybody just abandon them and face how they will survive. Because it's difficult to survive in Nigeria now. So, those ones who has harvested bats, you follow them to go and they stay awake. That's the proverb of bone and silence. I won't do that. If you harvest your bat or you set trap to catch bat, go and prepare it and chop. Why me look for my own? You won't carry your juju to come and spoil my blues.
All right, there's another very interesting headline here. Something about the senator's aide resigning over 20,000 naira.
I'm going to come to that, but not until we pay a good tribute to Dodo Mayana, the ex-goalkeeper of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Peter Rufai. Dodo Mayana, during his time, reigned, and we can, during his time as the national goalkeeper of Super Eagles of Nigeria, Nigeria recorded, wherever he stands a giant. He's a tall, handsome, tall goalkeeper for Nigeria, and he has gone the way of all mortals. And on this desk, on behalf of our crew, Signature Television, we mourn Peter Rufai, Dodo Mayana. He had a story around him. He said, Dodo Mayana will catch all goals. That when there was fire at Nitel building in Lagos, Dodo Mayana was employed to come because there's a woman trapped in the 12th floor. And they were saying, how will the woman come down? The fire has caught Nitel building, this 20-story building house in Lagos. And on the 12th floor, a woman with a child was there. They were looking for, how do we send down the child? There was the fire service in Odo, they don't have all the facility. They called Dodo Mayana, and the woman threw the baby from 12th floor. And Dodo Mayana caught the baby. And all the people held Peter Rufai, Dodo Mayana, and the guy forgot, he thought he was in the field, and he kicked the baby. That's the story I remember about Dodo Mayana, but God, in his infinite mercy, provide rest for his soul. And may the angels of heaven sing him to sleep. We miss Dodo Mayana. He served Nigeria. And like everything about Nigeria, it's only now they will remember Dodo Mayana. When he was arrived, I've never had his name appearing among the people they've been honoring. Nigeria named Boriozu. Go now, Boriozu Rufai. When he was alive, nobody talked about him. But he served Nigeria as a young man, as a goalkeeper of National Eagles. And then, now he's gone. Whatever they can do with him now is all stories. So we come back to the aid of. Now, it has what I've said before. How can somebody who earns 29 million alleged, because they've not come out to defend it? We are going with that story, and I will continue to go until any serving senator comes and said, this is how much we earn. The ex-senators come and said that, and they said, this is what the people now. But all the city ones have not told us how much they earn. But somebody said they earn 29 million every month. And somebody will look at an aide to a senator, a graduate of Nigeria, and pay the person 20,000 naira. How do you describe wickedness? Now, that is wickedness personified, and tell you some politicians are so greedy, wicked, and insensitive. And those are the people in position of authority making decisions for this country. You earn that much, in that allowance of 29 million, the salary for your wife, for the children's school fees, for the newspaper, for all your assistants, driver, cook, all the wardrobe, furniture are included. But you cannot remove the one they meant for these young people. And they are young Nigerians who Nigerian university turn out every day. That guy probably will be in Abuja, sleeping in boys' quarter if they have, because some of them are not even allowed. Once you finish the job, they pay them and then you can go anywhere. And you report very early in the morning to be a personal assistant to a serving senator, distinguished. They won't even give you boys' quarter in their house. And they won't pay you what they collect from federal government as your own allowance. They must be listening. But whatever any man sow, he will reap. Where are we going to take the money? What are they looking for? If small no do for you, big can do. So some of them are now showing us with this story that they have they've gone in there with poverty mentality. Even if you give them the budget of Nigeria, they will still not be able to pay their aids. And this must be something that is recalling. For the avoidance of that, no job, a lot of Nigerian graduates are going through this mess. After collecting this, a senator will look at your eye and pay you 20,000 naira as a graduate. Not graduate that just left, not as an intern. Some of these graduates that have the privilege of being PAs to these our distinguished NAS members have over 10 years, 20 years graduate experience. And this what it's sad. If it's true, we appeal with them. But if they no, what can I appeal with? They don't listen. They do what is theirs. Only there as hawks, looking for what comes to them. But they forgot that what is good for the geese is good for the gander. Life is sweet to everybody. So if you are there at that position enjoying, and then the little that can go to anybody will still catch it. That's what the Igbo man described as you carried elephant meat for head. You use leg, they scratch ground for cricket. Shame unto such people. And God, in his will visit them.
Now, still speaking on graduates, NMA faults FG's export of doctors and skilled workers to St. Lucia.
I don't understand. We have talked here the last 6 months of how Nigeria lacks medical doctors and medical personnel. And to sound the political correct as big brother, we are pushing the little we have to St. Lucia so that when the president goes there, they're giving the highest honor of the land. Is that at the expense, blood and sweat of people here. Have you been to a hospital recently? On this desk, you hosted somebody who was, Nigerians don't go to hospital again, they can't afford the cost. Everybody, when they scroll through the Google, if you have malaria, Google tells you, go and buy this, and even the brand, you can tell in some people will imagine the kind of malaria they have, and the Google will provide the answer. You go to hospitals in Nigeria, it's like, what I say? It's like cemetery. So any of the doctors manage to catch you. I was discussing with a friend, he said, if you enter any hospitals now in Nigeria, before you say, well, they don't write 27/4, that is how much, well, they will not say what is the problem. And they will start writing series of tests you will go through because that's only where they catch you with fear. So the doctors are using medical fear now to catch people. So when they give you about 20 tests and the money sums up to 60,000 naira, so when they eventually find out they give you test, what if it's malaria? One of my friends said, I got there, the doctor has already started giving me injection. But when he listed the test, I will go, he put malaria inside. So you already started treating malaria. Why are you? So these are the issues. There is a problem. We don't have medical personnel. When you say doctors, you will understatement. We don't have medical lab. We don't have physiotherapists. We don't have nurses. They've all going now for the government of Nigeria to be helping to move the little to St. Lucia. An island that have only 880,000 people. And we are moving, an average doctor to Nigeria now treats about 5 million people to one doctor in Nigeria. And the nurse, maybe about 2 nurses to the same number of people. You still have the mind to move. Encourage people to go to St. Lucia. What God will judge is plenty. And then check through. Make mistake, go to morgue or mortuary where they keep people. Some mortuaries, people have abandoned corpses. Recently, a teaching hospital near where we are, buried over 2,900 and something corpses that people have abandoned, they couldn't come to claim. Because they cannot even manage to transport their corpse to the villages. That's how bad. So the ones that are rolling, didn't do roll. If you drop, is it hardship or hunger? lack of access to primary health delivery? Is it what we're talking about, hiking prices? Is it insecurity? So Nigerians are moving up. Why the politicians are there talking about 2027? Nothing else. And they want me to keep quiet?
All right, and now very quickly, we've made oil smuggling unattractive, says Tinubu.
Yeah. If it's unattractive, kudos to our dear President Jagaban. It was attractive before, and the government was watching. That's the implication of the statement. So, but now, Jagaban's government, in his infinite wisdom and power, has discouraged people from smuggling. Now, if he discouraged them from smuggling petroleum and crude oil, what else? Because at all, I'm bad. If you are discouraged, then they'll still find some things coming from it, and they'll say, okay, let's see, because in absence of it, if they discourage us, they still business bad, we still go back. But if you are discouraged and there are other options where there are a lot of industries in Nigeria being built and we borrow money, what is going to collapse Nigeria is debt. Debt that's not managed. And you can see how it's affecting me and you. Because everything we do today, it has to come about our foreign reserve depreciation. We, as of 3 days ago, have 147 trillion naira debt profile of Nigeria. And when you are talking about the exchange rate of dollar, euro, that's euro, people call it, and then pounds. These are what you check. That's so whatever you are paying back is that. So 147 converted to those is what we pay and what we are owing. And somebody is still sitting down there. Before you say, I will borrow, say, borrow. They're borrowing and enjoying, looking fat. And then while they are, some of them have money to marry 20 wives. Putting out children, they are not thinking about where those children, of course they bought their houses in London and America. But then, one day they will want to come back here. So whatever you run around, whatever goes around will come around. Uche, I don't want to bother you too much.
Thank you so much for the review today.
Thank you.
All right, now make sure to stay glued to your screen as Signature Morning continues right after now.
Signature TV. News in your pocket.